Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is AI automation for professionals in 2026. It's always good to kick off any meeting with prayers. I'm a Christian, so I always love to pray. So if you don't mind, I would like to pray briefly before we start. Father, we thank you for this opportunity. We pray as we begin this webinar, Lord, we ask that your spirit will move. You will give us all that we need to understand for us to prosper as professionals in Jesus' name. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, so this is AI Automation for Professionals 2026. How artificial intelligence is helping professionals save time, increase productivity, and stay competitive. So as you can see on your screen, my name is Cletus Ajibade. For those who are just joining us for the first time, I'm a software and AI innovator. I'm the founder of UnlimitedCode, a US patent holder by God's grace, co-patent holder. My mission actually is to raise the next generation of AI engineers. So anywhere you're joining from, Africa, Europe, America, that is the goal. That is the vision. The vision is to raise the next level of next generation of AI engineers. And again, if you want to give me anything to eat, just give me yam and fried eggs. So that's my favorite food. All right. So you can see on the screen, you can catch me on various social media platforms. The first one there is GitHub for those who are developers. You see X or Twitter. I'm also on Instagram. I'm on Medium blog. It's a blogging platform as well. And I'm on LinkedIn. So you catch me at Cletus Ajibade. But on Facebook, it is CJ Ajibade. So you can see two websites at the bottom there, bottom left corner. It's UnlimitedCode.io. That is the website for Unlimited Code as a brand. But I also blog on cletusajibade.com. So if you want to follow me on Medium, that link actually points to Medium. So you can search me on Medium, or you can go to that website. You're going to see all my blogs on Medium on cletusajibade.com. So today's session, we'll be talking about how we can automate repetitive tasks, right? Whether you're a business owner, you are a manager, you are a healthcare professional, you are an engineer, in any profession at all, AI is everywhere now. So there are things you can automate. There are things you can do with AI while you gain more time to yourself. You want to save 2-3 hours, 10 hours of your week. AI can help you do that. So those routine tasks, those repetitive tasks can be automated with AI. And that is what we want to do today. Just to show us how different professions are able to use automations to handle their different processes. So whether you are an HR professional, you are an educator, or you are a teacher or a lecturer, there are things you can do with AI just to save time. So we'll just make progress as we continue in the webinar. So you can see that AI cuts across every sector. Like I said, you could be in a nursing field. You could be you could be a healthcare practitioner. You could be an engineer. You could be an accountant. There are tools you can make use of in your profession to automate your task. So imagine waking up very early tomorrow morning and you have access to your daily news report. Maybe your ChatGPT or your Claude has already generated the daily news report for you. Without you doing that manually, that's possible with AI. Your emails are already organized. You work in a place where you need to check your emails every day. You need to categorize your emails. You need to reply emails every day, very early in the morning. Your AI can help you automate all that task. You just create the automation, tell that tool, the AI tool, what to do at a certain time in the morning or at any point. It could be on a weekly basis, it could be on a monthly basis. Your AI can do that for you. How about meeting notes? You're waking up in the morning, your meeting notes are ready. You have your fireflies attending meetings for you, and then the summaries and the notes have been taken already. You just wake up and you go through the reports and you are ready for the day, right? How about reports? Your reports are already drafted. Your calendar is optimized. Your client follow-ups have been ready and written. These are things you can do with AI. You don't have to waste your time doing all these things in this age of AI. You'll agree with me that as professionals, the majority of what we do per day is documentation, reports, replying to emails. As a manager, for example, you are on your mailbox, you are checking emails, you are replying clients, you are replying, colleagues, you are setting up, roadmaps, you are doing this. All these things, most of them can be automated with AI while you have free time to do what you're supposed to do as a professional. So we see the reality is that most professionals lose between 5 and 10 hours every week doing repetitive work. As we have said, meetings, reports, research, scheduling, documentation. You can automate all this with AI, and that is what we want to do today. So now we can see the biggest myth about AI. People say AI will replace professionals. You must have heard of, things happening across the globe. AI, people are saying AI is replacing, employees. AI is taking over my job and all that. But the truth is, AI replaces repetitive work. So the question you should ask yourself tonight or this afternoon is, what is that thing that you are doing today that is repetitive? What is that routine process, routine task in your line of job? You have to start thinking about how to use AI, because sooner or later, AI might take over that role. Anything that you need to do on the laptop, on the computer, on your phone, and you do that same thing every day, day in, day out, week in, week out in your role at work, you have to be careful. AI can take over that. And which means that somebody who knows how to use AI is the person that is going to take over that job. So really, it is not AI that is taking over your profession. It is the person who's equipped with AI, with the skill set of AI that is taking over that job. So we're going to show us how to automate some of these things so that you can be prepared as a professional to thrive and to make progress in that line of work. So we see why this matters. Number one, companies are changing. That's the truth. In fact, companies are laying off staff now. They are deploying AI agents, in hundreds and in their thousands, taking over those routine tasks. Do you need somebody to generate reports every time? Now, an AI agent can do that. So companies are changing, businesses are changing. In fact, business models are changing. The days when you need to go out and research a particular product, you have to start interviewing customers. You have to start, maybe going to one location to the other just to find customer feedback. Now with AI, you can automate all that. Just by a simple prompt, you can prompt ChatGPT or prompt Claude to design a product, to come up with the copy of a website, or to test a particular market you wish to go into. AI can do all that. You have a business idea you want to begin. You can ask your coding agent or your AI to do the market research on your behalf. It goes out, it researches, it goes into the internet, it fetches so many things, and then it comes back to you and tells you this is how to go about this business. It gives you all the revenue projection, the amount you're supposed to make after a month, after a year. All these things can be done with AI. You don't have to do all these things manually anymore. So customer expectations are changing as well. In fact, customers today, all they just need to do is, please give me my product. Give me what I've signed up for. I don't want to, go through the hassles of following you about. No, let there be a chat bot somewhere on your app. Let there be an agent that can respond to me instantly, because customers at midnight will message your brand Now, how do you handle all that? So while you are sleeping, you can have an agent working for you, working for your brand. So workplace is changing as well. The question now is, or the question isn't, will AI affect my career? The right question should be, will I learn to use AI before everyone else does? Because people are really moving in. A lot of people are using AI now. In fact, you don't have to be a computer science graduate to use AI today. You don't have to be a software engineer today to build landing pages, to build sales pages, to build websites. Anybody can do it just by interacting with an AI agent using your natural language. In fact, you can even speak without even typing. Now you can speak to your AI agent, and your AI agent can translate your speech into text, and then it generates your response for you. That is the era. That is the age we're in now. With AI, you can do all these things. You can do all these things. So AI is already everywhere. Like we said, in healthcare, there is AI. In fact, as a doctor, you don't have to start, typing or taking notes when you are meeting your patient. There are tools, there are apps. Just launch the app. That agent is, recording your conversation. At the end of that session, it generates your doctor's report, your doctor's notes. It sends a report to you. It sends one to your director. That is what AI can do. As an educator, you are planning lesson notes, or you are looking for ways to really help your students. AI can do that. You cannot separate AI from the classrooms nowadays. No, it's not possible. People are saying, students are cheating with AI. We need to stop AI in the classroom. You may try, but we cannot take away AI from the classroom. So, as an educator, you can use AI to really boost your performance, help your students, and make them grow. How about a finance person? You have reports to work on. You have accounting, reports, final reports, monthly reports, annual reports. AI can help you generate all this, automate all that, so that you can save 5 to 10 hours of your time per week. How about those in the legal profession, manufacturing, marketing? AI is being adopted everywhere. So, if you can see my screen, this is request for startups. This is from Y Combinator. They said AI has stopped being a feature and started being the foundation. Every year and every season, YC talks about different ideas you can start working on. Different ideas that people are building, startup ideas. They invest in startups, and they've seen that for most of the products, most of the startups coming up nowadays, they all have a component of AI in them. You can see AI is no more a feature. It is the foundation. Anything you want to build today, there must be an element of AI. Number one, AI for low pesticide agriculture. Those in the field of agriculture, you have the opportunity to use AI to automate tasks. You can create a product, you can create a brand in that domain using AI. You can see AI native discovery engines. AI cuts across so many things. In fact, startups, you see people, just one or two persons today creating startups, and they are raking in millions of dollars because AI has made that possible. People in personalized medicine, you can use AI for that. Company brain, nowadays you have your knowledge base scattered everywhere. If a new employee joins a company, for example, they have to ask somebody, how should I do this? How should I do that? But with AI, people are beginning to, synthesize, bring all those things together such that a new employee will not have to go far to find solutions to whatever it is they're looking for. So, company brain, if you have an idea about, how to put together a document processor, how to put together a system that can respond to queries. You can create a company out of that. There are many small businesses, even enterprises today, that are in need of such businesses. So you can see electronics in space, hardware supply chain, even AI in government, software for agents, supply chain 2.0 for semiconductors. Just visit that website, Google requests for startups. You see ideas that you can start working on, you can start thinking about. It will start giving you ideas on how to begin, how to start a product, or even start a company, because AI has democratized how access is made to different tools, different professions. So let's make progress. So the professional prompt formula. So behind every AI system is prompting, right? You need to prompt the system. You need to understand how to prompt your ChatGPT. Some people just go to ChatGPT and say, draft me an email, or I want to do this, I want to do that. You will not get the exact result that you want. You want to start a business and you are just typing on ChatGPT, I want to launch a business in this area. There are things, there are keywords, there are features, there are components in your prompt that the large language model expects you to supply, right? For example, number one is role. Who should the AI act as? So when you are researching something, maybe you are a researcher and you want to work on a particular idea, you can tell the AI to act as a professional researcher. In fact, nowadays people are using the knowledge of other people as the role. If there is a particular professor, a professor that you so much love, you have all their writings and all their documentations and all their papers, you can download all those papers and use that as the brain, use that as the role for your large language model. Just download all their papers and upload to ChatGPT, and now say, act as Professor XYZ, or you are a Professor XYZ in this university. I want to do this research. This is my context. This is my limitations. Generate my result. That is so you are going to have a better result than just prompting, using any kind of prompt on ChatGPT. So number one, you need the role. Number two, you need your task. So what should it do? What are you telling the AI to do? Is it to carry out a research? Or is it to do market research? Is it to draft an email? Is it to automate something? That is the task. For example, you can say, write a 500-word proposal or create a 30-day plan. Now, you are talking about automating, generating content. In the next 30 days, I want this and this and this to be generated for me. So that every day you have something to post. If you're a social media content creator, for example. So you give it a task and then you give it context. Context is key. Context is the background. What should the AI know about you? In fact, when you want to give context to ChatGPT, the best thing is to upload everything about yourself. You have documentations, you have projects at work, you have your resume, you have your letters, everything. Give them to ChatGPT, and all your previous responses and your charts and your queries, that will now serve as context for the large language model to be able to respond to you appropriately. So give it context and then give it constraints, any rules or any limitations you want to apply to that prompt. For example, if I say, okay, I want to draft a letter, but keep it under 200 words, or I want this report to be generated in JSON file, in Excel file, as a Word document. You are giving it rules, you are giving it limitations, you are telling it what to do. Use formal language, avoid technical jargon. You are being specific. So by the time you give that prompt to ChatGPT or to Claude, you have a better response in return. Then they can also supply the output format. How should the response appear? in a bullet points, as a Word document, anything at all, you can do that. You can supply that to your large language model. So you build your prompt. And as we learn today, you may not have the full scope of the prompt you want to build, right? Your AI can also help you. You can ask your AI to give you the right prompt to ask. That is how brilliant large language models are. You are thinking of an idea, you can tell ChatGPT to give to you the prompt to now ask in return. It is that smart. It is that smart. So we're going to do all that today. So let's make progress. So what are we learning today? Number one, we're talking about top AI automations. Top AI automations. We'll spend some time doing some live demos, and then we'll talk about how professionals are using AI. And then we'll also talk about the future of AI agents, and then how to prepare yourself in this world of AI. So number one, let's move on. So top AI automations. But before then, look at this screen. Writing a professional email. Look at what we have on the left. This one says write an email, right? Based on the principle of a strong prompt that we just talked about in the previous last two slides, you discover that this is vague. This is just generic. The AI will hallucinate. There's something called hallucination. If you just generate something, it is generative AI. So whatever you give to it, it must come with something. It must come with something. And remember, AI has its random nature. It must generate something. So if you are not specific in your prompt, it might be vague, it might be generic, it will not be clear, no clear purpose. Write an email. What are you trying to do? Is it an email to your boss? Is it an email to your friend? Is it a text message to your spouse? And the tone also matters. You can tell your AI whatever tone you want your AI to adopt. Poor quality output requires heavy editing, because by the time the response returns to you, or you now need to edit the response. But it shouldn't be. You are saving time. You have no time to start editing anything. And the ideal thing is you give it the proper response, and then it gives you the right output. A proper prompt, and it gives you the right output. So we see the better prompt is, look at, act as a business manager. You can see yours could be act as a pastor. Yours could be act as a professor. Act as a software engineer with 5 years of experience, 10 years of experience. The reason why you are doing this is that the AI, actually the large language model has been trained on petabytes of data. That means just imagine the whole of the internet at your fingertips. The internet, Google, Bing, everywhere, GitHub, all those things combined together. You have them as just, behind the prompt on your ChatGPT. So it has learned the patterns of a pastor. It has learned the patterns of a software engineer. It has learned the patterns of a business analyst. It has learned the patterns of a professor, because all the data you have on the internet have been used to train these AI platforms, right? So so by the time you instruct it to act as a particular role, it knows, or it positions itself better, on how to generate that response. So act as a business manager. Write a professional follow-up email to a client after a project meeting. Keep it concise, polite, and professional. You can see the limitation now. You can see the constraint. You don't want something too heavy, too text heavy. I'm saying keep it concise, keep it polite, keep it professional, because you are dealing with a professional. It says write a professional follow-up. If it is an email to a friend or to a colleague, it may not be professional. You can say it can be a casual email. So whichever tone you want to adopt, or whichever constraint you want to apply to it, do it at the prompt level, and your AI will honor your prompt. So you can see, number one, you define your role, you define you give it a task. You have to be specific. Then give it context, then give it constraint, as we have said. So AI quality depends entirely on your instructions. I can't stress this enough. You must instruct your AI for you to have the actual result, for you to at least something near 100%. Even if it's not 100%, you need to really instruct it to give you to have that near perfect result. So let's make progress. So we see email automation, as we have said, you can use AI to generate all that. In fact, today within you can install extensions on your browser that automatically works with your email client. It could be Gmail, it could be it could be Outlook or anything, whichever email platform you're using, you can do that. And of course, you can also go directly to ChatGPT and compose an email, right? You can do all that. So you can use AI to prioritize, to categorize, to draft replies, to schedule follow-ups, Before we move on, I would like to launch a poll. Just quickly respond to the poll as we continue. The first poll has about just 2 questions, simple questions. So just respond to the poll so that we can make this interactive. You should have the poll anytime soon. Okay, so you should see a poll now. The question is, have you used any AI agent or tool at work? That's number 1. The other one is, if yes, which ones? So quickly respond to that. Which tools are you using at work? Or are you not even allowed to use AI tools at work? Because in some organizations, they've not really permitted some of these tools, right? So if you've not started using them at work, just let us know as well. Yes, I can see the responses coming in. Oh, nice. So about 95% are saying yes, they've used AI agents or tools at work. 92% actually, now 92, now 93. 7% said no. So you can see the adoption of AI. This just tells us that AI is everywhere. AI is everywhere. Most people are using ChatGPT, 81%. You can see, followed by Claude, because ChatGPT was like the mainstream, was the first AI tool that came out around 2022. It was the first AI agent that came out in 2022, and it's popular. It's everywhere. You have it on your phones, on your laptop, on on the browser. So yeah, I'm not surprised. So Claude, about 36%. Claude, yes, for technical people, they use Claude nowadays. Google Gemini, 58%. Wow, that's even more than Claude. Microsoft Copilot, 38%. Perplexity, 13%. Grok, 12%. So there are loads and loads of of AI agents or agentic systems. There is Minus AI. There is so many Pods, so many of them. Okay, so let's make progress. Let's continue. So AI email automation. So if you can see my screen, it says this is my ChatGPT screen. So now look at this. We want to see how to. This is common. This is what everybody uses email ChatGPT for, right? Most people are using it for drafting emails, writing letters. But let's see how to use proper prompts. The actual prompts you need. We talked about your role, about context, about constraints, about what is it again? Task. You must be able to specify all this. Let's go back to that slide. You need your. So you need your role, your task, your context, your constraints, your output format. You can ask ChatGPT to also generate, the output format for you. So, but for an email, let's just draft something. So assuming you are in an organization, in fact, let me even launch my Gmail. You see, I think I have before we go to ChatGPT, Gmail. If I go to compose, let me see. So if you can see my screen, at the bottom of my Gmail, at the bottom portion, you can see describe your message. That's AI, So I've installed extensions. In fact, Gemini because this is Google, right? So Gemini is owned by Google. So Gemini has taken over, has added so many things to my Gmail account. So you can add extensions, features. In fact, you can add plugins on your browser such that when you are doing anything on your browser, your AI can pick that up. Look, so in this case now in my Gmail, I can just go to describe your message. Look at it at the bottom of the screen. Describe your message. I can say compose. So what is the context now? What are we trying to do? Who are we sending the email to? Right. So let's do that. I can say act as a product owner. Right? So you are acting, so the AI is going to act as a product owner, right? Act as a product owner, let's say with about 10, if I can type, about 10 years of experience, right? So compose an email to the dev team email to the dev team reminding them of the upcoming vendor meeting with any business, any client, let's say with Flask team, with the Flask team. Now let's apply some constraints. So make this email professional and short, for example. So let's send this. So you can see AI is working. You can see it's generating the content. You can see, look at my screen. Look at what it generated for me. Look, it says, "Hi team, I am writing to remind you of our upcoming vendor meeting with the Flask team about scheduled for Tuesday." So you can see it even automatically generated time, even though I did not specify. Now, as the owner of the email, you can go and specify your time and then do all the adjustments. You can actually include all that in your prompt, so that you don't have to do any edits. But again, AI make mistakes, right? So it may not be 100% correct. It is good to go through whatever response your AI has given to you. So it says the primary objective of this session will be to explore practical strategies for protecting backdoor. Whatever context now, you can see he's just generating context for us, generating something I would never specify. But as a product owner, you know the reason why you are sending that email. Put all that in a prompt, and then you have a robust email to send out. So you can do that. You can use your AI can draft all that for you. Very simple. That's what everybody uses AI to do. So, but let's make progress. So we have email automation. So what's the benefits? We see less inbox stress. You have faster communication. You have better response quality. You have hours saved every week. Like I said, most of us spend time replying to emails, composing emails, generating documents, and all that. You can automate all that process, and then you have that time to yourself. In fact, let me check if I have it enabled here. In my Gmail, I think I have, you can see AI inbox. On the left-hand side, this is inbox. There's AI inbox. If I open AI inbox, look at what it tells me. You can see the summary. It's telling me, it says, "Hi, Cledis, you have 9 to-dos and 7 topics to catch up on." See, different things, finances, freelance projects, development, things that I should have, completed and, within the course of the week. your AI can help you do all that. So just add the extension and your AI can help you automate all those tasks. So let's make progress. Number 2 is AI research assistant, right? If you are in the research field, in fact, you don't even have to be in the research field. You can research anything. Anybody can do research now, right? You can do market research. You can do competitor analysis. You can do academic research. You can do customer research. With AI, you can do this now. In fact, there are custom tools that are dedicated for doing all this. ChatGPT, Claude, these are general purpose AI agents or general purpose AI tools. There are specific custom tools that people have made to even do all this. But again, you can use ChatGPT to do a market research. ChatGPT, and then, so in this case, let's try to do market research, right? But I don't know the exact prompt to ask ChatGPT, or you have a prompt that is weak, right? You can ask your AI or your ChatGPT to format that prompt for you, right? You can do that. So, for example, I want to begin a business in, let me say, I don't know, business idea. Somebody should give us any business idea in the chat. Any business idea that we can demo with. We want to do market research with that business idea. Anyone? Anybody? Somebody said minimart, car importation. Oh, nice. Drink business, real estate. Oh, they're all fantastic ideas. Minimart is also good. So let's try car importation, right? So now this is what you do, because again, you may not know all the words, the best way to format your prompt, right? So you can ask your ChatGPT to do that for you. I can say, I want to, again, I'm not following the best prompt pattern, but I want AI to do that for me right now. So this is what I will do. I want to begin car importation business. In here, I can specify the location. Again, we are still specifying constraints. I can say in Lagos, Nigeria, I want to be importing cars from overseas. Let's say overseas. I need to know the best way to make profit in a year. So now this is a very weak prompt, very, very weak. We're not following the prompt pattern, right? But then this is what I will now do. I will now say, give me the best prompt to ask you following the standard, if I can type, standard prompting strategy to obtain an accurate response, right? So let's see what ChatGPT is going to do. So now look at, I want to begin a car business, a car importation business in Lagos, Nigeria. I want to be importing cars from overseas. I need to know the best way to make profit in a year or within a year, whichever. So give me the best prompt to ask you following the standard prompting strategy to obtain an accurate response, right? So let's submit this to ChatGPT. Let's see what we get in return. So look at what it's saying. It says, to get the highest quality response, your prompt should provide context, define the role you want me to play. You can see, specify your objectives, list constraints, those things we talked about. The LLM, the large language model, expects your prompt to contain those components. So that's why you don't just ask ChatGPT, random prompts. You will not get the best response. So look at, it says here is a prompt I would recommend. Look at what it gave to us. Let me zoom in so we can see very clearly. Look at what it gave to us. It says, you are an experienced international trade consultant. Can you see? Fantastic. Look at automotive importation expert. Remember we said this AI has been trained with petabytes of data. So it's been trained with the data of an international trade consultant, an automotive import expert, a financial analyst. It has the knowledge of all those people within its brain, literally the brain. So once you now ask it, once you use these roles, it's now able to give you the best response. It says, and an entrepreneur with over 20 years of what? Of experience helping businesses import and sell vehicles in West Africa, especially Nigeria. You can see, so smart. Even though we didn't specify West Africa, look at how it's composing the strong prompt for us. It says, your task, you can see, number one is the role. This is the role. This is the task. The task. Your task is to help me build a highly profitable car importation business focused on Lagos. So that is the constraint. I'm not focusing on, Nairobi, Kenya, for example, or Johannesburg, South Africa, or Accra, Ghana. My market is, in fact, within Nigeria, I'm being specific. I may not understand the car business, domain in Ado-Ekiti, for example, or in Kano, in the north. But I'm based in Lagos. I deal with people in Lagos. I understand the Lagos market. So give me this response based on that. Look at, it says in Lagos, Nigeria. My objective, look at now giving it the objective. My objective is to maximize profit within my first 12 months while keeping my initial investment and risk under control. In fact, things that, because I'm not a business person or I'm not a financial analyst, look at the language, the things that is using for me so that it gives me the best response. It now says, please create a comprehensive business plan covering the following: market analysis, current demand for imported vehicles in Nigeria, the most profitable vehicles category, because you need to know which vehicles are even the most profitable. You don't want to just import all kinds of vehicles. For example, sedans, SUVs, pickup trucks, luxury vehicles, and so on. Then number 2, country sourcing strategy. I want to base it in, now you can now start updating this. Are you limiting yours to just United States alone? Is it including Canada, United Kingdom, Japan, South Korea, UAE? So by the time you get this prompt, you now do any updates you want to do to the prompt, and then you ask ChatGPT. It now says, for each country, explain advantages, disadvantages, shipping. Before AI, imagine what you would have gone through to generate a market research like this, a business plan like this. Before AI, you need to, do research, go online, go to different places, interview maybe car dealerships in Lagos, talk to them, But now you have the knowledge base at your finger. Just by typing a prompt, you can generate all that response. Recommend the best country for a beginner, based on that. Then vehicle selection strategy. Recommend the top 20 vehicles that sell quickly, because as a business person, you want to sell very quickly. Produce the highest profit. Imagine trying to imagine this prompt by yourself. You can't do this. You may not be able to cover, all the edge cases like this, but your AI can do that for you. Now look at the prompt. It continues. For each vehicle, provide all these: estimated purchase price overseas, shipping cost, landing cost in Lagos, typical selling price. Then financial model, build 3 categories. Scenario A, starting capital, assuming you want to start with this. Again, you can modify all this. In fact, with ChatGPT, when ChatGPT gives you this window, you can easily edit the content at any point. Here, I can say, maybe I'm starting with, where is that place again? Maybe mine is $10,000, right? You can edit directly even before copying. So ChatGPT allows you to do that. Once you see a response that comes back to you in an editable text box like this, you can edit. So the goal is that you are interacting with the system. So if I click on this edit, for example, see, I can further ask it to refine this prompt to do anything I want to do, right? So you can do that. So, but let's just keep going. You see, build 3 scenarios: scenario A, scenario B, scenario C, and so on and so forth. So you have this prompt, and then what you just do, copy this prompt. See, come here, copy this prompt. You can even copy this prompt and save, or ask ChatGPT to save it in memory, right? So we have the prompt. What we now do is go back to your prompt interface, paste the prompt here. This is a very strong prompt that we have. So paste the prompt and watch ChatGPT do its magic. It's going to research that market, draw business plan based on everything that you have in the prompt. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, remember, for your own use case, go through the prompt, customize the prompt to your own, to your specific use case before asking ChatGPT. But look at what it's generating for us. Let's go through this result. It still generates. Okay, it's done. Look at it. It says, this is an excellent prompt, but it says, but it's too broad to answer. Yeah, this is very complex, too broad. As well, to answer well in a single response, it will require the equivalent of a 100 to 200 page facility study. So when you see something like this, it's telling you about the context window, because the response that this prompt will give to you might be more than the context window. So look at what it's now saying. I will structure it as follows. So I will now go ahead and start asking it follow-up questions. It says I will structure it as follows: executive summary and market opportunity. So I can highlight this one. So on ChatGPT, once you highlight a section, you can see there's a pop-up that says ask ChatGPT or start writing, right? So remember, it's recommending the best approach for us to do this market research now. So it says structure it this way: begin one after the other. So highlight this part and then ask ChatGPT. So I will now say begin this executive summary. Executive. In fact, just say begin this. It understands, right? So press enter, and then it will now start working. Begin this. Look at the executive summary and market opportunity. That's the first stage. See, generating all this. Look at market demand. So let's go through this. So if you are somebody in this market who wants to go into car importation, look at what it's telling us. It says, based on current market conditions, I believe a car importation business in Lagos can become highly profitable, but not in the traditional way many dealers operate. You can see the details. The information is given to you, because without this research, you might just go and start doing this business like other dealership or other dealers, right? But now it's telling you, instead of importing random vehicles and hoping they sell, build a data-driven import company that purchases only vehicles with predictable demand, known for profit margins, and fast inventory turnover. So that is that. So any field you find yourself, you can ask your AI to automate all that. Look at, let's just go through this. Market demand talks about that. It talks about wealthy individuals, the biggest market opportunity, faster cash flow, talks about that. What Nigerians buy most. Tier 1, they buy Toyota Corolla. You can see your AI knows the taste of Nigerians when it comes to buying of cars. So if you want to profit, that means the number one brand you have to import to Lagos, Nigeria is Toyota Corolla, followed by Camry, followed by Highlander, followed by RAV4, Prado, Hilux. Tier 2, Lexus brands. Look at Tier 3, Honda. Tier 4, Mercedes. Tier 5, Ford, and so on and so forth. You can see vehicle categories ranked by profitability. The most profitable categories, they are mid-size SUVs. Even though Toyota is the highest, but the most profitable one is what? is mid-size SUVs. SUVs, everybody wants to drive SUV now, right? So the demand is high, the risk is low, the typical margin very high, right? So start thinking about how to import SUVs. It could be Toyota Highlander, for example. That's an SUV. It could be Venza. It could be any of those SUV brands or models under Toyota and other brands as well. Then sedans too, and so on and so forth. So that is how to use AI in research. We cannot exhaust this. So you just choose your area of profession, whatever you want to do. Ask AI to give you the right prompt. Right? Now remember, this is just for the executive summary, right? So what you now do at the end of this, remember, you are not communicating, you are interacting with the agent. He's telling you what to do. We started with executive summary. Here, I can now say, if I'm done with this, if I'm satisfied with this research, I can say, great, move on to the next. It's going to understand the previous conversation, where it's coming from, what it suggested for us to do. So we started with executive summary. Now we're saying, great, move on to the next. Now let's see what it's going to do. See, section 2, country sourcing strategy. Very smart. So you don't have to start going back to remember. The AI remembers. It remembers by itself. It knows where it stopped with the suggestions it gave. So section 2, country sourcing strategy, where we're going to source the vehicles from, right? USA, excellent. Canada, UK, good. Japan, excellent. UAE, good. Look at the rating as well. US has 5 stars. Others 4 stars. Shipping cost. UK low, US medium. You consider all this before going into this particular market. Once this is done again, you ask it to continue until you exhaust all the suggestions it gave to us the first time. So that's how to use AI to do research, or as a research assistant. Any of the AI platforms can do this. It could be ChatGPT, it could be Claude, you can go to Perplexity, it could be anything. Again, they have their individual strengths, right? Perplexity is more for like research, Claude is more for coding and deep thinking. And even though they are all still general purpose, they have their individual strengths based on the model, the current model that it uses behind the scenes. So let's do number 2. That's number 2. Let's move on. Number 3, document and report automation. There are, nowadays you don't have to waste your time generating reports doing it manually now. You can automate, you can ask your AI to do that for you. You can do, you are a business person, for example, you want to generate executive summary, your AI can do that for you. Monthly reports, performance summaries, executive briefings, proposal writing, sales report, business ideas. All this can be done with AI now. Just give it the right context. For example, let's go to Codex. Codex is an app by OpenAI that helps you automate things. You can code with it, you can automate, you can do so many things. It's just like ChatGPT, but now on your machine, locally on your machine. You can create projects, you can do so many things with Codex. So let's quickly go to Codex. Yes, so this is Codex. You can see the interface is somehow similar to ChatGPT. You have, it's an app on my machine. So the thing is, if you want to use Codex on your machine, you need to have it installed. If you're on Mac, you can download the Mac app, or if you're on Windows, you can do that as well. Let's see Codex. You can see ChatGPT Codex. So your AI assistant for work. So, or if you're on the Mac, for example, you can see it says download from Mac because it automatically identifies my system as a Mac. So if you're on a Windows machine, you see download from Windows. So once you have this installed, you can do so many things, get work done faster. In fact, with this tool, it can use your computer. There's something called computer use. You see your mouse moving, the AI interacting with your mouse, with your machine, clicking browsers and opening applications. You just give it the permission. Codex can do that for you, as well as Claude can do that for you. So let's go back to Codex. So I have Codex installed on my machine. What we want to do is a simple report. Where is our slide? So we want to do simple sales report, for example. So which means that you must have the sales document available. So if you work in a place where there are reports for you to generate, then you have those documents, on ground. They could be in Excel format, they could be in PDF format, they could be in JSON format. All those documents that are scattered around, pull all of them together, create a project for yourself on Codex, even on ChatGPT too, and upload or direct Codex to generate reports from that particular project. So that's what we want to do now. So for Codex, look at on the left hand side is a very simple screen. You see new chart, you see search, you see scheduled. In some other plans, you see it as automations or automations. So this is scheduled, is same for automation. There is plugins, there is sites, and then you have projects. You can see projects. If you can see my screen, let me see if I can. Yeah. So you see projects and then charts. So let's see. For scheduled, here you can schedule or automate tasks, right? Which we're still going to demonstrate today. Then you have plugins. So many plugins that you can use. You use spreadsheets, your documents. These are feature plugins, your Chrome, GitHub. You can add all these plugins or apps to ChatGPT, and then you use those plugins to prompt ChatGPT or Codex now to generate a response for you. For example, if you see, so at the top you can see installed apps. That means I've installed Google Doc, I've installed PDF, spreadsheets, presentations, template creator, sites, browser, Chrome, computer use. This is the computer use I talked about. With computer use plugins, Codex can use your computer on your behalf. So you can see different plugins that you can use. But then let's go to projects. What we want to demo now is how to generate reports, how you can create reports with Codex. So we see on this side, the first thing you do is you create a project for yourself. A project is just similar to you creating a folder on your machine. In fact, when you create a project, it tells you to create a new folder or to use an existing folder. So within that folder, within that project, any prompt you ask Codex will be based on the context and the data set or the data that you have in that particular folder or in that particular project. That's how it works. Then here you can see charts. Charts are just your general random charts. If you don't want to group them in a project, right? You can use charts as well. But in this case, we want to create a project. Let's do, let me move this closer. I want to create a sales report project, for example. But let's examine the documentations that we have. So assuming you work in a place where you have loads of documentation, loads of documents, coming in, repeatedly every week, every month, and you have to, sift through and, make sense of that data, right? You can automate all that now with Codex. So I have a document on my machine. Let me go to desktop. No, let me just go to documents here. There's a folder called, I believe is this one, business research project. If you can see. So you can see, so this folder contains, let me do this so that I think, okay. So this folder contains customer CSV, invoice, email template, contains sales orders, contains, in fact, let's even open this. Let's open this so that we view the content. Let's open with, I think I have LibreOffice on my desktop. Open with, let's use LibreOffice. So look at these documents. Look at these sales reports. So order IDs, order dates, if you can, order ID, quantity, unit price, discount rate, payment status. You can see paid, invoice, paid, pending, invoice. Imagine you have a document that contains 5,000 lines of records. This is just 6 records, right? We have 6 here, very simple. But imagine you have 5,000 lines of record and you need to build a report, or you need to send, an update to your boss or something. And, of course, there's a way you can do it in Excel. You can use Excel to build reports and all that, or move them to Tableau to do all that. But now with Codex, with AI, you can automate, you can use AI to do all that. So let's go to, now we've examined the content of the sales document. Everything is still inside this business research project folder. So let's create where is my Codex again? So let's go to projects. So you come to the left-hand side, click on this. It says create project, right? So we want to create a project type. I want to create a local project on my machine. Local, it says you can edit, run, and test files on your computer locally, right? So look at what it's asking us. Use an existing folder. So if you have an existing folder, most times you should, because you work in a department where there's a folder that contains all your documents, you choose this option. If it is a fresh project you want to build and you want to start building context from ground up, then you don't have to select this option. You can just go to next, right? But in this case, we have a project folder on our machine. We want to build a project on Codex that routes to that particular folder. So I'll just use an existing folder. So look at, it's asking me to go select. See, I need to go and select that folder on my machine. It's in my documents. It is called Business Report Project. That is the folder. So I can now open. I can open now. You can see. Automatically, even without giving it a name, it gave it the name of the folder. Look at Business Research Projects. In fact, if you want to give it your own name, you can rename. If you want to, there's a rename project here. Whatever name you want to give to it. Let's say Sales Project, and save. It's going to rename that. In fact, at the point of creation, you can, since we use existing, that's why it's using the name of the folder. If we do next, it's going to ask us to give it a name at this point, right? But again, we're using existing folder and we already have the project created. I can cancel out of this. So look at, on the right-hand side, this area, automatically look at the bottom section here. There is sales project for us, which means that in this text area, every prompt I supply, I type here, will be used against this sales project. So Codex or ChatGPT or the model behind Codex now will be using this sales project to build its context to generate response for you. So that's great. Now look at on the right hand side, you can see you can select the model to use. There's light, medium, high, extra high. Currently, this is GPT 5.5. You can select any one of these that is available on Codex. So I'm going to leave that. You can also select the speed. So there's fast. If you want Codex to reply to you, to think very fast, to respond to you very quickly, you can select fast. But note that it is 1.5 times the speed. So it's going to consume more tokens. You can see mine is already telling me that I'm out of credit, right? So it's going to consume more tokens if you increase the speed of your response. So take note of that. So leave it as standard. Medium is fine, or even light if you don't want to consume so much tokens, and then you can do anything you want to do. So let's prompt this project. Again, we're inside this project. We are working locally. Now automatically it's creating a branch. we're creating a master branch for developers. They know that, when you're working, you can create branches for yourself. It's called version control system. So that if a version is, we can just create different versions and or branches to work on them and then merge them together. But in this case, this is the master branch or the initial branch. So now what I want to do now is to remember we have a sales project and all the documents in that project. I can say generate the let's give it a prompt. Let's say as a bit or sales, let's say as a sales manager. Let's say act as a sales manager. Generate the total sales report for executive. Let's say executive, for executive distribution, something like that. Distribution, right? Just anything, just something simple, right? So what will happen is that coders will now work on this project. Remember, there are many documents in that particular folder. There is sales report, there is invoice, there is customer service, customer.csv, there is support ticket, statement of work, there is sample invoice, and all that. So, but let's see, instead of us going through this document to be able to make sense of this data, you can build a project that can do that for you. In fact, you can even say send this report to my manager at give your manager email. Let me use my email as here, cletusajibade@gmail.com. So that is what Codex can help you do. Behind the scenes, there's something called tools, right? So because Codex is an app, there are tools that the agent can use to carry out tasks. Beyond just generating the report, it's going to use an email tool to now send that report to your manager. All right, so let's run this query and see what is going to happen. Let's just do that. Make sure the email is correct, cletusajibade@gmail.com. So it says, I'll look for any sales data in the workspace first. Look at it says, then draft the executive report and prepare the email. I will need your confirmation before sending anything externally. Talking of confirmation, look at the bottom of this screen. It says, approve for me. So if you click on that, there are different approval levels. Ask for approval, approve for me, full access. So if you want the AI to generate full access, to give full access, to have full access, you can do that, right? So it says, I couldn't generate verified sales totals because this workspace doesn't contain any sales data. It says, and the Gmail send tool isn't available in this thread. I created a ready-to-use draft here. Look at it, generated a draft for us. Send me or add the sales export serial report, and I can finalize the actual total. So if there are any constraints, if there are any limitations, it's going to tell you. So in this case, it's telling us that it doesn't have some tools, readily available for you to send the report, but to send the email. But let's see what it generated for us in .md. But let's change it to, let's say, do this. Let's say convert to Word. Let's use to Word files, something like that. Let's just do this. But before then, let's just view what it generated for us in .md file. Look at total sales report for executive distribution. Date, you can see sales management, prepared by sales management. Date June 27. Status draft pending, source sales data. Executive summary. Look at You don't have to bother yourself doing all this. Require source data. Look at final reports. Once data is available, the finalized execution report will include all this. Email, in fact, it has even given us the email draft. Executive total sales report. That's the subject to this person. Hi, I'm preparing the executive total sales report for distribution. The report structure is complete. It has drafted the email for you, and then it can, so assuming it has access to the tool, it can easily send this to the email. But let me convert this to Word files. Let's run this and see. Convert to Word files. It says, I'll convert the existing executive report draft into a Word document and place it in the outputs folder. And you can see everything that is generating is going to be placed inside that project, so that at later time you can still go back to that project, that folder, and see all the generated reports. So somebody's asking, please anyone to list all the apps. So the app we're currently using is Codex. Codex is Codex, OpenAI Codex. That's Codex. You can Google Codex. So you can see it's still working. Build sales report docx.py. So it's using Python behind the scenes to generate the report. So it's still ongoing. Yes, OpenAI Codex. OpenAI Codex. So it says the docx, the document has been generated. I'm rendering it now with the document renderer so I can inspect the visual layout before handing it off. So it's doing all that, telling you what it's currently doing. It says rendering completed successfully. You can see this is the file. Page 1 is clean. Ongoing, there are 2 pages. You see thinking. So by the time this is done, I want to see the total sales. That's what I want it to do. So I'll just refine my prompt to get the total sales. So it's still generating the doc file. We can close this. So done. So it's completed. Look at it, generated this document for us, and we can open it in different applications. Look at in as a text edit or LibreOffice. Let me use LibreOffice to do that because I don't have Word installed on my machine, so I can use LibreOffice. And again, if you go to, remember the name is Executive Total Sales Report Draft .docx. So let's go back to our document. I believe we should have something here. Let me see. Business, research. Let's check Codex. Today is what? So let's check this. Gen outputs. You can see. So inside your project, it has the file there. Executive Total Sales Report Draft .docx. That's a Word document file. So everything the tool is doing is within the context of that project, within the context of the project. I can open this. Let me open this in LibreOffice and then take a look at. You can see the generated reports. You don't have to do this by yourself. Look at executive summary and all that and all that. So it generated a report for us, and then it can send, assuming it has the tool, the email tool, it should be able to send it. In fact, it can even send the email to whoever is supposed to do that. Now, assuming you want to automate this, right? I don't want to be typing these prompts every Monday morning. Assuming you do this report every Monday morning. Instead of coming here, typing the prompt, every Monday morning. And remember that folder is a working folder, meaning that it is being updated. So I want fresh reports every Monday morning by 9 a.m. Then you can schedule that task. See, you can schedule that task once And then every 9 a.m. on Monday morning, this prompt, this thing is going to run and it's going to generate the report, send the report out, do everything you want it to do at that set time. So that is the automation part. Somebody is asking, can ChatGPT access folders on one's desktop? No, ChatGPT may not be able to do that because it's on the browser, right? Again, it depends on the permission. So that's why Codex rests on your machine. So Codex has access to your local machine. And again, you need to be mindful of permissions, right? That's why look at the bottom section here. It says, ask for approval. Approve for me. Full access. So mine is approved for me. So it may get to a point that it will need to access something within my laptop, within my machine, and then the operating system will block it. So it will not ask me to approve, or not. So that's how to go about it. If you give it full access, then that means you are saying, operating system, do not block me. Go ahead and do whatever you want to. I want just run the command, run the prompt, go into my system, go into my documents, do everything you want to do, and then give me a response. So you have that. So assuming you want to schedule this, let's go to schedule. So my issue with Claude Cowork needs me to keep my desktop on to work on the schedule. Yes. Your desktop needs to be on, right? Don't close the task. Don't close the process. If I close, I can close this, this app, but without terminating the process, right? There's a way you can close an app, but behind the process is still running. The task is still running. So if you clear the task entirely, then it will stop working. So under scheduled, it's called scheduled here, I believe, because I'm on a business plan or there's an update. It used to be automations, but now it's called scheduled. It says, ask ChatGPT to schedule tasks, to set reminders, or monitor for updates, right? So instead of you asking the prompt every day or every morning, schedule it as a task so that it runs at that set time, at that particular time. So what do you do here? I don't have any task, any scheduled task, right? I can create a new task. I can say create via chat. That's one way. It's going to pop up a chat window, right? Again, still within the context of my sales project. Remember, we're still working in the sales project. So everything you are doing here is going to be within the context of the sales project. If you want to change the project, I can cancel, I can close out of this and select a new project. See, I can close this, look at. Then I can now say choose a project, any project I want to choose, right? So let's go back to sales project again. So it's telling me what should we build in sales project. So this is just a sample prompt to test, but we don't want to do that. In fact, I can even ask it to give me the prompt to use. But ideally, you can use any prompt. Just tell it you want to automate or schedule something, and then give it the time that it should run. It's going to run. But let's go back to our schedule again. So that's one way of doing that. The another way is if you click on this drop down, there's also create manually, right? I can click on create manually, and then I can give it a name, and then there are now settings you need to apply. I can say Monday morning report. Let's do this first, then we'll do the one for chat. Monday morning report. Add prompt, e.g. look for crash. So here, let's add my prompt. Create a report for the total paid sales. Now runs in work tree. Let's do local. Now project is already sales project, since it's already pre-selected. Repeats, tell it when do you want this automation to run? Is it daily at 9 a.m.? You can select, is it hourly? Is it weekdays? Is it weekly? Is it custom? We can select a custom repeats value as well, right? So whatever value you choose, set the time. I can say maybe mine is, I want it to run, let's say daily. Let's just do daily at 9 a.m. See? Then model. Here you can select the model you want to use. If you want to use a different model to do that. Now, so once that is done, I can click on create, select project to create project. So sorry, it says select project. So we need to select a project. Sales project. I didn't select a project. So we have the name. What we want to do, create a report for the total paid sales every day in the sales project, every day at 9 a.m. Right? Again, you can fine tune this prompt, ask it to do other things, send the email to somebody, to your boss, anything you want to do. Use your normal prompt here, right? And then run and click on create scheduled task. Look at create scheduled task. Once you create this, you can see I have one task that is already scheduled. So if I go to all schedules, look at one task is scheduled. It says sales on. It's going to run inside sales project. It says next run in 19 hours. Remember we said 9 a.m. every day. So from now till 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, that's 19 hours, right? But then we can edit. You can edit the prompt, the automation. We can delete, but you can also run now. So for the purpose of this demo, we can run this automation now. So just hit on this run now. It's going to run this schedule or this automation now, and then it will start waiting for the next run, right? So let's click on run now. So it's running. Now look at the left hand side. Look at it has entered a what is it? And there's an entry under sales project. It says Monday morning report. And you can see that loader is spinning. That spinner, you can see it's spinning. That means it's building, it's running that report. It's running my prompt, even though it's not the best prompt, but for the purpose of this demo. So you put your own prompt, it's going to run. It's running that automation, and then it's going to give us the report at the end of the day. And then it's already scheduled. So tomorrow morning by 9 a.m. it's going to run. On Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, every day until you stop this automation. Until you stop this automation. So if you have an idea that there's something that is repetitive that you do every day, this is one of the ways to automate. You can see it's done. There's a blue badge here. So we can go to, let's go to this under our chart. You can see it says created the paid sales report here. It generated an MD file. We did not specify the type of file, so that's why it's using a markdown file for us. Assuming we specified an Excel file, a CSV file, it's going to do that. So let's open this and see what we have. Oh, look at beautiful. Total paid sales report. Run date 2026 June 27. Source, look at the source. Without even telling it the source of the report, the AI knows that in this particular business report project, there is a particular report, a particular document for sales. So it pulled that sales document and it now generated a report for us. Look at paid orders, two orders were paid. Gross paid sales, and we'll validate this. Gross paid sales, 6,100. Look at discounts on paid sales, $250. Total paid sales, $5,850. Look at paid order detail, everything. It went into that project, it scanned the project, it discovered the sales document, and then generated this report for us. Straightforward. Tomorrow morning, if that document is updated, maybe it's a working document, like I said, there are entries coming in every day. Tomorrow morning, the automation runs. On Tuesday, it runs. On Wednesday, it runs until you stop this automation. Very interesting. Let's go and check. Look at the source. It tells us the source. Let's go and check the sales orders.csv file and see what it did for us. Let's go. This is the folder. It picked from sales orders. Because, in fact, you may not even know the content of the file, but the AI is so smart because we asked it to work on sales, to generate sales, paid sales or whatever. So now let's view this and validate. So this is the file. In fact, right off the bat, I can see there are only 2 paid sales. Look at 2. Look at row 2 is a paid sale. And row number 4 is a paid sale. Others are invoiced, pending, pending. So those ones have not been paid. Now let's see what it generated for us. Look at what it did. It said paid orders 2 value, and it generated the total for us. Look at paid sales 2,500 plus another paid is that's unit. So unit price is 2,500. Then another one is 1,800. But quantity total. This thing is so smart. It knows that for me to get total, it needs to multiply quantity by unit price. Look at quantity for the second paid sale is 2. So it does 2 times 1,800. That's 3,600. It does 1 times 2,500. That's 2,500. So it now adds 3,600 plus 2,500. And I'm sure it gave us the right answer here. Look at gross paid sales. That's 6,100. If my math is right. So that is how smart AI is. It makes sense out of random data, scattered data, right? You just tell it what to do. It can go into that data and then pull out meaning, make sense out of that for you. So let's move on. That's how to automate. We cannot exhaust this. There are so many things you can do there. In fact, in Codex now, I believe if you're on this plan, they just introduced the sites plugin. With sites, you can build full sites. You have a landing page idea or a sales idea or a sales page idea. Here you can instruct Codex to build a complete website for you. In fact, it will build it. It will deploy it to its own domain. You see, I think Codex sites at something.com. Then you can now change it to your own custom domain, right? So it is very, very powerful. You can do that with Codex. So let's make progress. We still have a lot to cover. Let's go back to document and report automation. That's what we just did. We see any question before we continue? Any question?
All right. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Thank you so much for this session today. So my question is, I work in a fintech space as a site reliability engineer, and I have a lot of documentations on our knowledge base, which is usually hosted on Confluence. That's Atlassian Confluence. So I struggle to have to go through a lot of documents, right? I don't know how I can use AI. So the reason why I'm asking this question is this knowledge assistant caught my attention and I felt it will come in handy, but I don't know how it can be integrated into Confluence, where the AI can query those documentations and provide answers to my questions instead of having to read everything there.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for that question. So now you already have a knowledge base in your organization. Confluence is very popular. That's what most enterprise businesses use. So what you do, again, it depends on the use case. It depends on the engineering team as well. When you have a robust knowledge base like that, and you want to use AI to act on that knowledge, is to create a knowledge assistant agent. So there are, for those in coding, there are different frameworks to do that, right? There's something called retrieval augmented generation. So you create an agent that can go into your knowledge base and convert your knowledge base into something called embeddings. Again, this is technical, but so you create something called embeddings, and on top of that embedding, you can perform similarity search. So your engineers in your company, in your team, are the ones to do that. They create that agent that just gives you an interface, just like ChatGPT, but now it is acting on your own company data. So if you are searching for, a particular piece of information within your knowledge base, because they've created a vector database that contains the embeddings, you can simply do similarity search and retrieve exactly what you want, right? So because your knowledge base is hosted in the cloud, is hosted in a different infrastructure, Codex may not work, because look at Codex is resting on your laptop, is working with folders or projects on your laptop, right? So, but for your own use case, you need an agent that can go into your own knowledge base to be able to do similarity search to extract data. So yeah, I don't know how your workplace is configured, if there are developers on ground to help you build an agent that can then interface with that third party application or platform. Then they are the ones to do that. They give you that interface, and then you can go ahead and do anything you want to do. On the alternative, if you have access to your own documents, right? If you can, again, it depends on the policies of the company. If you are allowed to pull the data to your machine locally, then Codex can work perfectly for you. So Taiwo, hope I was able to respond to your question. Oh, you can't speak. Oh, sorry. Let me. All right. You can just put it in the chat. You can put it in the chat. All right. Okay. Yeah. That's great. So let's end this poll. So we have a lot of engineers in the house. That's great. All right, let's make progress. Knowledge assistant, in fact. So what I just explained now, that's what this slide is talking about. So you have your company data, resting somewhere. So what companies now do is that they have like proprietary versions of these AI tools. So if you want to automate, some of these things, check with your IT department. They should grant you access. For enterprises, there are plugins, there are tools that your company grants you permission to be able to use. So you can use those tools on your own data, right? So it could be any of these tools. It could be Codex, it could be, because Microsoft is enterprise. So a lot of companies use Microsoft Teams alongside Microsoft Copilot and all that. So they can integrate with all those Microsoft tools. So for knowledge assistant, like I said, you can easily query your AI agent or your AI assistant for knowledge. Behind the scenes, the engineers have done the work, right? Yours is just to be able to use it. So if your company uses ChatGPT, that's good. But if not, your IT team can build an interface for you that integrates the knowledge base of your company behind the scenes. When you query it, it generates results for you using similarity search. So that's that. And again, you can use Codex to do this for that particular business report project we developed. Assuming you are new to the team, right? And you have Codex, instead of you going through so many files and folders in that particular place, just tell your Codex. For example, let's go back to this place. I'm new to the team. Let's go back to my project. So let me close this. We've talked about this already. Let me do a new chat. So you can still see it's still within the context of the sales project. So I can say if I'm new to this team and the project is huge, I don't even know where to start. I can say I am new to this team. Please review this project project and provide the basic details I need to know. Right? So, very simple. It's within the context of the project. It's going to review it. It's going to, so you can see it's scanning the repository and telling us what he's doing. And then it's going to give us a response. You can see it's even telling us this is not a code app. It looks like a small business operations like research workspace made up of CSVs, sample invoices, Word documents, and Excel workbook. I'm reading the data files and document metadata next so I can tell you. So he's doing all that. It's telling you what he's currently doing. So as a new person to the team, you don't have to struggle with that project, with that particular folder, because it's so heavy. So just like what Taiwo said, he struggles with how to even search, how to get data. So you can ask your AI to review it. Tell me what this project is even all about. Even tell me what I should know. You can ask, just refine your prompt. Tell me what I should even ask you because I'm new to this team. You just go ahead and ask your AI to do that, and it's going to do that for you. So it's thinking. Look at the result. It says this project is a small, see generating. Look at what it's doing. Look at what it's doing. So it's done. So I'm new to this team. Look at what it's telling me. It says this project is a small fictional business automation demo workspace because it's a fictional project. It's not a real project. It's fictional. So it says not an application code base. It is built around invoice/order follow-up workflows using CSV, Excel, PDF, docs, and template files. Core purpose, the project demonstrates a monthly invoice and follow-up workflow. It says you can load customer and select and sales order data, validate records, and so on and so forth. Main data files, customers or CSV, sales orders or CSV, and so on and so forth. There's already a generated paid sales report. You can see. So if I'm new to this team and I need a paid sales report, I don't have to run that query again. So my AI is telling me that there's already a generated paid sales report. Remember what we just did some minutes ago. Look at it. It's giving us the document. I can click on the document and it brings it out. Sales report and everything. It says document samples. It gives me there is an invoice.pdf document. Look at this, the invoice. So there is sample invoice. There is meeting minute sample document. So it has reviewed the project directly from Codex. I don't have to go to the backend to start doing anything again, right? So somebody asking, yes, Codex can be used to connect workflows. Yes, you can do that. Another tool you can use is Zapier. There's Zapier, there's N8N. I want to demo Zapier. I pray we'll have time to be able to do that. So N8N, so many tools out there that you can use to build workflows. So let's make progress. So knowledge assistant does that. Then we have presentation automation. So you can create slides, generate speaker notes, suggest graphics, rewrite content. This slide we are looking at was generated with an AI tool. I mean, this whole presentation. So you just give it your data. I gave it my data. The app built all this for me. So it is called Gamma. Let's go to gamma.app. So you can see, you can create slides, generate speaker notes, suggest graphics, rewrite content. So you can turn a report into presentation slides. Use Gamma to do. In fact, your Codex can even do that for you as well. Just make sure the tools are installed. That particular business project sales report, we can say to generate a presentation that is useful for executives, for example, right? You can do that. So let's go to look at gamma.app. So look at gamma.app. People don't generate report. They don't not report. People don't generate presentations by building PowerPoint, starting from scratch. No, Go to gamma.app, create a new report, a new project. You can see create with AI. You can generate, you can paste in your text, you can create from a template, you can import file or URL, right? So let's just demo something. Let's quickly demo something. Let's go to ChatGPT. We still have our car business here. So let's go to ChatGPT. Let's query something. Let's do something. I want to give a speech on speech is double E on health. Let's do health. I want to give a speech on healthcare for children, right? Come up with points for a presentation. Let's just do something like this. So let's go ahead. Let's ask AI to do this. See, presentation title: building a healthier future. Full colon, why children's healthcare matters. Slide 1, introduction. Slide 2, why children's healthcare is different. In fact, your ChatGPT, I can still prompt this to generate the slides for me, right? But I don't want to do that here. So we can do it here, but what I want to demo is I want to do the one of Gamma. So, but once you have your content, copy all these slides, right? Copy. Let's go to gamma.app. See? Create with AI. So I'm going to paste. So I have my content already copied, so I can choose paste in text. If you have a URL, you can import a URL, right? You can import, or upload a file. You can have maybe a Word document or a PDF on your desktop. You can upload it, right? But since I have it copied, I can come here and then paste. I can paste. Look at just paste. Then remove some things. Presentation title. I can leave it as title. Maybe remove this. Anything you don't want in your slide, remove it. Closing. Okay, I need closing. Let me just remove this. Right? So this is it. I have the content here. So I don't have to start looking for the template. Just come here, scroll down. The first option is generate from notes or an outline. Assuming you have your points here, this content was given to us by ChatGPT. Assuming you're an expert in healthcare, you know all your points that you want to talk about, right? So jot all those points, paste them here, and choose this first option. It will help you build or develop those points. Then the second option is summarize long text or document. So if you want to summarize, you can do that. But if you want to preserve this exact text, so you're an expert in your field, you know what you want to talk about, you have your content ready, you can select this. So, and then click on continue to prompt editor. See, it's going to run. Now here we can now do some basic configuration. For example, the option is preserve. What we selected in the previous screen, we are preserving, we are not condensing, we are not generating. So we are preserving what we pasted. Then output language, English. Visuals, this is where you can select your theme. Any theme you want, you select. Then art style, you can select how illustrations can be created. On the fly, you can create illustrations for you, right? You select, and then AI image model, select the model you want to use, or use the one that is here by default. And then click on generate. Sometimes you may need to go through this and make sure they are ready in different cards. So you can see card by card. So each card now becomes a slide. So if they are not in cards, depending on the content you pasted, make sure you break them into cards, right? And then generate with AI. So it's going to run. It's running. Generating. Look at, it's building your presentation. This is the first slide. It says building a healthier future. Why children's healthcare matters. Look at the illustration. Instead of you trying to, the other day, my wife was trying to build was trying to work on a presentation, and normally you try to get a template. Which template relates to what I want to talk about? Which templates? You Google so many templates. In fact, you'll be confused. Which one will I even choose? Just use AI. AI understands the language of your presentation. It's going to generate illustrations that are in line with your language, with your presentation. You can see something for children. Look at the illustration here on the first page. Look at next slide, another slide, next slide. Nutrition, the foundation of good health. Everything AI. Look at mental health in children, preventive health care. If you don't like this design, change the theme. You can select a different theme. See, select. You can ask to change a different theme. Import your own theme. Build a theme. Right? Anything you want to do, you can do that. And then once you are done, you can present directly from here. See, exactly what I'm doing in our webinars. It's the same process. See, I'm presenting now, slide by slide, slide by slide. And you can export. If you are done and you want to maybe export this to PowerPoint because another person may not want to go to Gamma app to use this presentation, you can export this, right? Just go to share. You share, export as PDF, export to PowerPoint, export to Google Slides, export as PNG images. Select any option, you have it exported for you and downloaded. So you can see within just 2 minutes or so, your slides are ready. You just give it the content, your slides are ready. So let's move on. So customer support automation. You can see AI chatbots, ticket routing, FAQ handling, knowledge retrieval. I talked about this briefly. Knowledge retrieval. When, like I mentioned, in the night, your customers are requesting, are chatting you, are interacting with you. What happened to my order? I want my order. I want my delivery. You can deploy. You can set up an agent to do all this for you. You don't have to stay up replying customers and interacting with them. No, you already have knowledge base. You have the company policies. You have your refund policies. Everything that a traditional customer agent should study to be able to respond to a customer. That is the knowledge base. Give that to your AI. Your AI can now respond to your customer, right? Very sweet. AI chatbots, ticket routing. In fact, you can even build an automation. I pray we'll have time. We can demo that. You can build an automation such that as the customer is sending in the requests, there is a node in the automation, classifying the request. Is this a sales request? Is this a support request? Classifying it and then rerouting it to different departments and then replying the customer with an email, or updating your CRM software or letting the tech support team know. All this happening automatically. All this happening automatically without any human in the loop, right? So that is the beauty of AI. So we see social media automation. Oh, so sweet. Everybody does this. You use social media to generate content now. And in fact, as professionals, for you to build authority, create content. Be creating content. When you are creating content, you are building authority. People are getting to know you. People are getting, when somebody wants to do something, they remember, oh, that brother posted something last week, or that sister posted this thing last week. Let's contact him. Oh, he has an idea about this thing. Post content. Somebody says it is the new social currency. Look at when you post content, it gives you that visibility. You are exposed. People know you. You get contacts. I can't count the number of the level or the number of contacts I've gained as a result of content generation, as a result of putting myself out there. Everyone should do it. Every professional should do it. In fact, somebody was saying yesterday, it's like God has given us this world. There is something we can offer. There is something, no matter how small, there is something we can offer somebody, either for money, in exchange for money, or for business, or for anything, or for support, or for advice. Do it. People's destinies are dependent on what you have to say. So generate content, do that, and then you'll see how AI automates all this for you. So you can see generate posts, repurpose videos, schedule content. You can automate all that. You can have a tool that posts to all your social media accounts every day. You just generate in fact, it can generate a plan, a 30-day Facebook post plan, Facebook plan for you. So maybe you are into agriculture, for example. You know about seedling, about plantation, about how to make crops grow. That knowledge is a niche knowledge. Not everybody knows that. So you generate that content, tell AI to help you format it. Every day that app is just sending, posting to your social media platform. Somebody's asking, as business intelligence developer, can this work for me? Yes. As a business intelligence developer, you can use this. You can use it. Give it your knowledge. Give it context and ask it to do that. In fact, let's go to Codex or let's go to ChatGPT. Let me do this. So, act as a business intelligence developer with 15 years of experience. This is you now. The role is you are asking the AI to assume a role, right? To assume a role, experience. I want to start creating content on social media, but I don't know how to begin or what to say. See, give you more context. I know about how to build businesses, right? So I will advise at this point, upload all your business proposals, upload everything that you do, any document you have about your work, upload them. See this plus sign, use it, upload all that, right? Now ask it using the uploaded document as context. Now do this for me. So let's continue. I know about how to build businesses. Again, I'm not a business intelligence developer, so you know that. You query, give it the right query. So I will now say, come up with a 30-day social. Social media. Let's put Facebook. So that let's give it constraint. Let's start with Facebook. Social media posting strategy. Give me topics, ideas, time of posts, etc. Provide all other important details. So now just run this prompt. Again, you can format the prompt, make it proper, make it best. So, but let's just go ahead and run this. So somebody's saying, can we have access to the PowerPoint format of... Yes. Let's quickly go back to that place. Build. If I export this, theme, share. Let's share, export to PowerPoint. It's going to download. You can see it's downloading. Unfortunately, I don't have PowerPoint on my system, but I can open it with Google Doc or LibreOffice. Let me see if LibreOffice open it. Or let me generate PDF, export as PDF also. So it's generating. Oh, you want the link? Okay. Sorry, this is that. It's been downloaded to my machine. So let me go to this share then. If you want the link directly, anyone with the link, so no access. Let me do can view. Anyone can view. Anyone with the link can view. Workspace member. No, let me just do that. Copy link. So copy link. So let me paste this link. See if you have access to that document. See if you have access to that presentation. So let's quickly go back. Let's go back to what we're doing. This should be done by now. Where is our ChatGPT? ChatGPT, social media. So look at what it came up with. Oh wow, so beautiful. Now it says, where is it? Your story. Look at it says, based on what I know about you, I will not build your Facebook presence around AI. Okay, you can see this thing is so smart. He's so smart. Now it knows me that I'm into AI and whatever. Hope this is my prompt. Okay, so for you, it's gonna know you by the time you upload your all the documents, everything that you do. It's gonna use that context to build that, right? Now it now says I will build it around business building with AI becoming one of the tools you teach. You can see it's so smart. It knows me as an AI person. Now I'm asking it. Look at my prompt. My prompt says that I'm a business intelligence developer with 15 years of experience. I want to start creating content on social media. If I look at all my typos, you can see it understands what I'm trying to say. So it's so smart. It knows that this should be start, this should be creating, even though they are typos, right? But let's go on. Look, it now says your positioning should become I teach entrepreneurs and professionals how to build profitable businesses using technology, AI, systems, and strategic thinking. It's asking you to package yourself like this. This is how you sell. Package yourself this way. It says that positioning gives you room to talk about business, entrepreneurship, leadership, sales, marketing, productivity, AI, if you are into AI, software, personal experience, mistakes, and so on. Your content pillars, look at, very important. Rotate between these 6 pillars. Number 1, business lessons. 30% of your content should be about business lessons. Example, why most business fail. That's a hook. That's a strong hook. If somebody says, oh, why most business fails, they want to read your content, right? Another one is how I validate business ideas. The biggest mistakes founders make. Remember, you have experience in this domain. So you need to back it up, right? Why revenue matters more than followers. So 30% business lessons, 15% your story. On social media, people are moved by storytelling. Not every day about business. No, show behind the scenes. Do a post about you playing with your children. Something that they can relate with. Do something so people buy people. You can see. Share things like moving countries, lesson from clients. Build trust. It says educational posts 20%. Look at you teach. You examples 20% of that. Business frameworks, if you know about that. Pricing strategy, customer acquisition, sales funnel. Again, this is your domain. You know about that. Now let's scroll down. Look at your 30-day strategy. Look at 30-day strategy. Day 1, my journey into entrepreneurship. This is a story. It builds trust. So you write now. Take a highlight on this. Ask ChatGPT to come up with points, but then review those points because it's your domain. ChatGPT may not give you the full, the perfect answer, right? Then review all that and make sure it is correct and then post it. We see why most businesses fail in the first year. You can see here the goal is we are building authority. 3 habits every successful founder has. This can be like a carousel that they can scroll. That's a carousel. You have, anything you are doing, and make sure you want to drive engagement to your content, right? So by somebody scrolling, that means they are interacting, they are engaging with your content. Question: weekly lessons learned, how to find profitable businesses, and so look at 30 days. Every day you have a content idea already. So just pick one of them, or you can even ask it. So for you can say now further, for each of these topics and for each of those days, develop content you can share. It's going to do that for you and generate them for you every day, and you can automate it as well and make it run every day. We have social media automation, like I said. Sales automation, we've demoed that already. Again, you can have a workflow for lead qualification, CRM updates. Instead of you manually using Google form, when people submit or fill a Google form and you are manually entering people's data and all that, you don't have to do that. You can build a workflow that can get whatever somebody is filling in the form, then perform CRM updates for you. Maybe you have Salesforce, you have Zoho report, anything Zoho desk or whatever it's called, to update that for you automatically. Then proposal generation, follow-up emails, meeting scheduling, all this can be automated. You can build a workflow with N8N or Zapier, and then it runs. So once somebody submits a form, submits a Google form, or the workflow runs and it does all this for you automatically. Then personal AI executive assistant is also there. Calendar management, travel planning, daily planning. You have a trip, for example. You can ask an AI agent to book you a flight. Yes, you just give it everything. It has to be, since it is personal, it has to be personal. It must know maybe your credit card information. It has access to your personal, those personal information that any other person should not know. So there are some AI platforms you can use to do that. Research, reminder generation, document organization, voice commands, and so on and so forth. So that's what we can do. Again, we may not have time. I wanted to demo a live workflow. Let's go to, let me just talk through it because of time. This is Zapier. I think I have Zapier open somewhere. Let me see. Zapier. Do I have it here? Yes. This is a simple workflow. Look at this is a Google form. What I just talked about now. This is Zapier. On Zapier, let me go back to this place. So Zapier you can build zaps, you can build forms, chatbots, kind of agents, and all that. So zaps, if I open the one I just built, or let me just do create new and see. So you can use AI to do that, your prompt to build a zap, that is a workflow, or you can also build it manually. There's a trigger step and then there are actions. You can continue to add several steps. So as one step runs, the next step runs, the next step runs, and so on and so forth. So like the example I showed now, the Google form inquiry, look at this automation. So what it does mainly is that when users submit a Google form, that entry is sent to, because you may want to build a report later. So you need a spreadsheet that will act as the database or for your report. So whatever they submit in Google form goes to a spreadsheet, and it's then an email is also sent maybe to your customer or something, or to your another department. You can add another step. You can add another step to, let's say you want to do, I can edit this zap, for example. So once I click on this, it adds another step. And what is a step? A step is just an app. There are over 9,000 apps on Zapier. Any app, any tool that you use at work, you will find it here. Is it email, Google Sheets, Slack? Just search anything at all. Code, Stripe, anything, you can search them. Let's say I want to do GitHub, for example. It's going to come, so I can add this as the next step. If that is the next step you want to add to the automation, it's going to run and finish the automation and do what it's supposed to do. AI chatbots, AI agents, multi-agent systems, voice AI, autonomous workflows like we've talked about, digital employees. Now, companies are deploying agents. Agents are now the employees. Agents are now the ones working. So you have so many agents doing this, doing that. So that is where the world is headed with AI. So professionals who will win are not necessarily the smartest, are not necessarily the most experienced, but the professionals who learn how to work with AI. So for you to stand out in your profession, you need to understand how to use AI. You need to understand how to use AI. So common mistakes: using AI only to ask questions. Remember, they can hallucinate. So make sure you vet, you verify, you validate the response. Copying responses without reviewing, like I just mentioned now. Make sure you validate. Not protecting confidential data. Make sure you are not just sending confidential data to ChatGPT and all that. If you work in a proprietary environment, make sure you secure people's data. So thinking ChatGPT is the only AI tool, there are other tools out there, then waiting too long to start learning. So I'm glad you're in this meeting. This is the time to start. This is the time to start doing or using AI. So start small, automate one repetitive task today, do another one tomorrow, then another. Eventually, your workflow changes completely. So that's that for today. We see what's the biggest takeaway today. Don't compete against AI. Don't fear AI. Work with AI. So professionals who collaborate with AI will outperform those who do not. So we can skip this personal story about my experience with AI. I started working with Ansible automation, where you build automations, but you need to do things, configure this, build a YAML file, do this and do that. But then when I discovered automations in AI, it made the whole thing a lot more simpler. So imagine yourself in the next 6 months using AI. Start using AI. Start using AI. Start using AI. So to continue your AI journey, we want to organize a masterclass for every one of us, right? And there is a link. Let me quickly share this link before we wrap up. Let me share this link with us. I believe, let me paste it in the chat so you can click on it as well. So we'll be working or starting a masterclass. So join the early access for the AI masterclass. You can see what we did today. In fact, we could not even exhaust all this within 2 hours. But in that masterclass, we'll do a step-by-step breakdown of all these things: how to create automations, how to create workflows using tools like Zapier, N8N, different things, how to automate your own business processes. And it's going to take 5 weeks for us to do that. So if you are interested, please, the link is there. Click on the link, join the early access to have curriculum previews, launch updates, and priority access when application opens. So looking forward to that. You can see step-by-step framework, hands-on projects, real-world automation workflows, a supportive community, continued guidance. I believe that is the last slide. So question and answers before we wrap up. In the next 5 to 10 minutes, I want us to wrap up. What are the questions you have for me tonight? So somebody's asking, thanks, could you please recommend an AI tool to generate a technical/network diagram from a document? I'm currently using Mermaid. Okay, Mermaid is good. I use Mermaid too to generate what is it? Workflows. Well, not the workflow. When I'm building like architectural diagrams for my software, for example, I use Mermaid. In fact, Mermaid, you can even use Python to automate Mermaid diagrams. So it says, but has some disadvantages. Any recommended one? So yeah, I don't know your profession. I don't know the tools you use. But again, I can search. We can also search online and see the appropriate tool. Is for technical network diagram. So Mermaid, I've used Mermaid. There's also draw.io. Let me see. Draw.io. I know about draw.io. So yes, you can use draw.io. There are so many components, advanced components, miscellaneous components you can choose from. Basic ones, arrows, flowchart. There's entity relationships. There's UML. More shapes. You see, so many of them. So many. If you're into networking, I believe you should have something like. Let me see. There's business. There is electrical. Yes, somebody into networking should be should do something around electrical. Let me apply that and see if I have. See, so many of them. Electrical. See, so many diagrams, so many components. So electrical resistors are here. So many of them. So yeah, you have your networks as well. You should have networks somewhere. But just go through. So go to draw.io. It's free. Anybody can use it. It's free. Draw.io. Let me put it here. Draw. So but it's going to reroute you to diagram.net. I think they used to be draw.io, but they are now rerouting to diagram.net. So let me paste that here. So if I want to draw all that. So I would like to ask another question. Are most of these capabilities available in free version of the AI tools? Yeah, again, it's business for everybody, right? Some are free. For example, we've been using ChatGPT. There are times that when you exhaust your free tokens, you need to wait for your token to be replenished, right? So, but again, not all of them are free, right? So some are paid. Even the paid ones, they still give you free access to tokens, but just that it might now be limited to it might have limitations based on what you can do. Maybe for Zapier, for example, Zapier gives you 14 days pro plan. 14 days. Where is it again? Zapier. Let's go back to Zapier. Zapier gives you 14 days pro plan, but after 14 days, it will now reduce. It will drop you to the free plan, which now has some limitations. They may say you can't do more than 2 steps, like step 1, step 2, step 3, step. Now, as a pro plan user, I can do several steps, multi-steps, connected steps. In fact, you can do conditional steps. If these steps, then this or this, So, but then if you're using the free plan, you might be limited in what you can do. So that's that. Another question is, I would like to ask which you recommend to create motion graphics for a business. Motion graphics. Now AI I've been seeing tools for building graphics and even editing videos and all that. But for motion graphics, I'll need to search. And let you know. Can we instruct coders to use Power BI, for instance, for data analysis task? So I believe your Power BI is running locally on your machine, right? So yeah. So if Power BI, I'm not a Power BI user, but if Power BI drops something somewhere that Codex can get to, I believe that should work, right? Or you begin with Codex and then Power BI can now get to the project folder that Codex creates. I believe that should also work because I worked on a project that the Power BI people, we generated the Excel document, we dropped it in a particular place programmatically. Then the Power BI people were able to pick up that document from their Power BI application to now continue what they do best. So, what is the best AI tool for science teacher? So it depends on the context. So as a science teacher, you may want to, in fact, I've been seeing several. My son uses one tool. It has AI integrated for learning. I'm blanking out now. I can't remember the name. But that's for learning for the student. But for the teacher, I believe there are so many tools you can use to design curriculum, to design lesson plans. Again, the general purpose ones are your go-to tools first. I recommend ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. Do all that first. But if they are limited because they are general purpose, then you now need to look for specific custom tools for your domain, right? So it's your domain. You can search, you can check. Let's ask. Your question is science teacher for AI tool for science teacher. So just ask ChatGPT. It's going to suggest the tools you can use. What is the best AI tool for science teacher? So let's ask ChatGPT. So you can see lesson planning is saying I'm the one. I'm here now. Use me. Lesson planning. Then creating presentation, you can see Gamma, the Gamma that we just demoed now. So as a lesson, as a facilitator, as a teacher, you may want to use PowerPoint or slides generally or presentations to teach your class. So it's suggesting Gamma. Interactive science simulations. There's something called FET interactive simulation. I don't know what it is, but if you're into sciences and you know what this is, you can check out this. Then generating worksheets. There's Magic School AI. You can see these are now specific domain AI tools. For personalized tutoring, there is CanMiGo or Khan Academy. I guess they are now called CanMiGo. So, but I know of Khan Academy. Maybe they also have, so the tool I mentioned now is a Khan Academy product, but not this CanMiGo. My son uses it for learning. Creating diagrams and images. There's Napkin AI. There's ChatGPT. In fact, most of the images I generate, I use ChatGPT. If you need all my thumbnails, all my YouTube thumbnails, they are all ChatGPT generated. Just ask it. It has your context, tell you what to do. It's going to generate a thumbnail for you that you can use, or any image at all. Somebody asked me to generate a flyer for their church, I think for celebrating, is it Father's Day or something. So ChatGPT generated everything, very beautiful and that. So you can use ChatGPT for that. Making videos, there's Canva AI, there's Speaker. Of course, you know about Canva, so it's Canva AI. Creating quizzes, there's Quizzes AI. There's also Quizlet. I believe Quizlet. A lot of students use Quizlet. Then virtual laboratory, there's LabStar. So take note of that. Research assistance, Perplexity. I mentioned that Perplexity is very good for researching. So you can use Perplexity for researching. Is there a way to bypass the payment plan so as to use the AI tools? Yes. Yeah, there's something called Olama. Let me see. Olama. And there are other tools. This interface that we are looking at now is not the ChatGPT. I know it's similar to it, but it's not Codex that we've been using. You can see this logo here. That is Olama. This software is running locally on my machine, and you can download open source models, right? Look at on this right-hand side. There is Nemotion 3 Super Cloud. There is Gamma 4, Gemma 4, Gemma 3. There is Quen. There is GPT OSS. There is Minimax. There is Kimi. There are different large language models that drive this tool. So behind the scenes, all those prompting that we are doing, there is a model that is driving them. So these are the different types of models you can use. Now for Olama helps you run the open source ones. Let's go back to our codex. Look at this bottom section. You can see 5.5. That's actually GPT 5.5. This is a commercial model. It's not free. That is why I need to pay. I need to burn tokens. But there are now free versions. There is one called GPT OSS. That is GPT open source software. There's GPT OSS. So once you install Olama, download any of the open source models here, and then start prompting, start using it just like you use ChatGPT. It's free of charge. So, but it is using the open source versions, not the proprietary or commercial versions of the language models that ChatGPT or Claude uses. So take note of that, which means there might be slight limitations, right? Again, performance is running locally in your machine. Number two, maybe accuracy limitation, response limitations, because they are open source versions, so they don't make money from it. They may not really be updating that often, right? So, but again, for general use cases, you can run Olama and run open source models locally, and you will not be charged. So that's it. Then somebody is asking, how do I add extensions to my Gmail, Google Gemini to write emails? What is the safest or acceptable safety or acceptance of AI in academics research or writing of manuscripts for publication, especially when it comes to plagiarism? Yes, there is, what's this tool? I used it. There was a time I was doing research. So that tool helps you to So what is it? We don't want to plagiarize, right? So that tool takes care of that for you. So this site AI might be something similar. AI for research. So you can see site.ai. So ask questions, get answers grounded in the scientific literature. Okay, so any other question? Oh, so the first part of your question is how to add extensions to your Gmail. So basically, just add extensions, plugins on your from your Chrome. And again, Gemini is already built into most of Google's products. So you have Gemini running in Google products. Then I try to use ChatGPT to integrate a video and do something editing, but it shows it can no. ChatGPT cannot generate video. Yes, that's a limitation. What you can do, the general purpose AI tools at this point cannot generate video, but there are now specific AI models for generating videos. There was a time they released Sora. I don't think they are still continuing Sora. Sora can generate videos, right? There is Google also has one. I've forgotten the model, the name now. So there are specific models. Let me show you something. Let's go to open. So just Google open AI models. You see all their models. Look at open AI models. Look at choosing a model. These are frontier models, GPT 5.5, 5.4, and all that. Specialized models. This is an image model. It's called GPT Image 2. So if you are doing something that requires robust image generation, use GPT Image 2. Real time, GPT real time 2, GPT real time translate, speech generation. You can see GPT O mini TTS, that is text to speech. Transcription, if you want to transcribe, GPT real time whisper. There's one, I think they've deprecated that one. It used to be called Whisper. So you can use it to transcribe streaming speech to text model for real-time transcription. So something like that. Let's view all models. I'm looking for one for video. There's real-time and audio. You must have been hearing people generating very nice songs, and the song is talking about something like you are celebrating your birthday. You want to really surprise your wife and you compose a nice song. You can use AI to compose that song. So you use all these models to do that. Real time and audio. There is open weight model. So these are the open source ones I just talked about. GPT OSS and GPT OSS 20B. Let me paste this in the chat. So then embedding models. I talked about, for those in programming, for you to do similarity search, you must convert your data to vectors, to numbers. AI understands numbers. All the prompts you are typing that are natural to us, back end, they are converted to numbers first. So these models are used behind the scenes to do that. So they are called embedding models. Then more models. There's one for, let me see. I'm looking for video. Code. See, this one for codecs. Computer use. This is a preview for computer use. The one that interacts like your co-work, Claude co-work. I can't see that one here. Let me just search for video. Yes, Sora 2. You can see it's deprecated. Let me zoom in this. There is Sora 2, flagship video generation with synced audio. So, but apart from all these, there are now custom or specific platforms. There's 11 labs for generating audios. 11 labs. So these 11 labs. So I have an account. I use this once in a while. This is a video I generated. Let me play this.
Intelligence is transforming every industry. At Unlimited Code, you'll gain the practical skills to build real-world AI solutions.
You can see this is AI generated.
Join the Unlimited Code AI
If you
bootcamp and start your journey today. Whether you're an engineer, developer, or professional looking to stay ahead,
So this is AI generated. So you can use 11 labs for that. Back to projects. So you can see voices. For example, you can change somebody's voice. Pick anybody, any celebrity voice. You can even import your president. You've been seeing all those videos where they use your president's voice, to say something that he did not say, right? You can use AI, you can use something like this to do that, generate all that. So best voices for 11 version 3. So many of them. There's text to speech, there's image and video. You can see this is AI doing all this. Just give it your prompt and it's going to do. I was going to talk about VO3. VO3 is the model for generating videos. So, but this platform integrates all those models for you to be able to do that. Voice isolator, voice changer. You can change your voice. You can generate a script, use somebody else's voices to narrate that script, right? Without using your own voice. So you can use 11 labs for that. So I think that's all. Yeah, PaperPal. Thank you, Peter. PaperPal. That was what I was looking for. So the person who asked that question for research, for not to plagiarize, Google PaperPal. PaperPal. That's what I was looking for. Thank you, Peter. PaperPal. So look at PaperPal. Experience the future of academic writing. Boost your chances of success with real-time, subject-specific language suggestions that help you write better, faster. So, yeah, go to paperpal.com. PaperPal. Again, it's not free, but it still gives you free plan so that you can use. There is Flow. Somebody mentioned Flow. I don't know what Flow is. What's Flow? Somebody's asking how to get into my community. So let me paste my. Okay, somebody pasted. Yeah, thank you, Mohammed. Yeah, thank you. So that's the Discord link. So you can join that community with that link. So yeah. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So again, thank you for coming. So don't forget to join the wait lists. The wait list. Go to unlimitedcode.com. I pasted the link earlier. So make sure to join the wait list for us to for you to have access to the announcement when we go live. When we'll be starting the masterclass, the AI masterclass for professionals. So thank you for coming. Good night, everyone. God bless you.